All right, man. Peace. All right, who's up next? 646-490-0394. Some of you guys were funny, bro.
The world is fucked, bro.
0413, you're up. 0413, you're up.
Hello.
Yo.
What going on?
Yo, what's up, y'all? I just had a question about real estate. I bought my house. Me and my wife bought a house before the pandemic had hit, so we got a really good interest rate. And the price was like $150,000 for the house, and right now it's about sitting at like $250. So we're sitting on about $100k of equity. I'm just wondering if I should take a HELOC loan out and like use it somehow, because the money's just sitting there right now. And also, my dad, he is a builder. So I was thinking about taking the loan out and buying a piece of property somewhere and having my dad build. He said he could build for cost. I'm wondering if that's a good idea or not.
So you have equity in your property. You're thinking about taking out a HELOC and using that equity to build something new, right?
Correct.
You said your dad's a builder, so let's assume he can build at a good price. Do you have experience with development?
No, I don't.
So that's what's going to get you hurt. It's not going to be the part like your dad building. It's going to be the zoning laws, the infrastructure, how you get the city to approve of you bringing in power. I mean, I've seen people do this that buy land and say they're going to build on it. They don't even know that they needed to check where the power was going to come from. And they find out it's going to be like $3 million to run a power line to the plot of land that they bought. They just didn't think about it before they bought it. That's where I'd be worried about doing something new. Every time we do something we haven't done before, it's not stuff that you know that's going to screw you up. It's stuff that you don't know that you should have looked out for. I'd rather not see you build something brand new. I'd rather see you get a dump, like a burnout house that you can buy that's already zoned for what you want. It has plumbing run to it. It has electrical, but it's like a complete teardown that your dad can use his construction experience to go in there. You could buy the thing for 10, 15, 20 grand, depending what area you're in, and you could rebuild a house on a lot that exists rather than try to buy land and build something from scratch.
Got you. Yeah, that makes sense. So that makes a lot of sense. So the plan was going to be to build something new and then move my family into that house and then rent out my current property that I'm in right now. But you're saying, find something that's a little beat up, maybe, really in a different type of neighborhood, and then invest in that property.
Find something massively beat up, like that other investors don't want to take on because their dad is not in construction. That scares other people.
Got you. Okay.
That's some good advice, bro.
That makes sense.
He just saved you a bunch of money and headaches.
So would the advice that you gave, would that be the best way to use, the money that I have in my property currently? Or is there better options on the table?
I think when I was given advice 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I was watching inflation ripping through people's savings, I was much more aggressive with how I told people to invest. But like we started off the show talking about, we don't know what direction the economy's going. And the best real estate deal in the world does you no good if the entire economy collapses and you have no tenants to rent it. So I don't think you need to have this feeling like I got a hole burning in my pocket. I got 100K of equity I need to use. That mindset was applicable when there was a lot of options everywhere. I think you should be thinking, how do I keep what I have? How do I play defense? And if you have an incredible opportunity like we talked about, yeah, that's the best option, is take out a HELOC and buy it, or sell the house and put some of that money towards the new one, as opposed to thinking you need to have two of them. Because if, like, let's say you're in an area that gets decimated by AI coming in and laying everyone off. Now, not only are you not able to finish your construction, but you lose the house you have. Versus if you sold it, you have that cash in the bank. When that comes in, you may be able to buy something at a really good price.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense, man. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Be patient is the advice I'm trying to give you.
Another question that I had was, so would it be smart to take a HELOC loan out and just not use the money, just to have it sitting there for like a security blanket? Or should I just leave it alone until I find that opportunity?
Yeah, that's what you would do. Like, we do HELOCs at my mortgage company, the One Brokerage. So you would apply for it. You pay for the cost of an appraisal. It's almost nothing. And you have the ability to take money out, but you don't actually pay any interest on it until you need it. It's kind of like having a loaded gun that you don't actually have to go use. You don't want to wait to load your gun until you're in the firefight.
This is why I think HELOCs are so much better than cash out refis, man. This is why, I guess. I mean, because you do both, right? You do cash out refis as well?
Yeah.
Because you can, like, kind of just have it there ready to go. Versus with the cash out refi, you pull it out. It's a one-time thing, and you got to use it right then and there.
Which makes sense if you're getting a better rate. You get a better rate on a cash out refi, and you get a fixed rate. The HELOCs can go up or down, but it's way more expensive, and you're like locked in. You have to do something with that money. Versus, like you said, a HELOC, it's there if you need it, but you're not forced to use it.
You're basically paying for convenience with the more variable interest rate. But is it with the HELOCs that you guys do? Is it with is it only when you pull the money out that you're paying that interest rate? Okay, yeah, then that's fair. But yeah, bro, and here's the thing: you'll get a better rate because you live in a house, right? It's not an investor HELOC.
Yeah,
you'll have a better.
Yeah, we've been here for like 5 years now, and our rate is 3.5.
It gets crazy when you have an investment property and getting a HELOC on that. That's when things get a little bit. I fresh took one of those. Was it? I mean, can you tell me what was your experience with? Because you're one of the few people I know that has a HELOC on an investment property.
Network. Without my network, I'm not done. Because typically speaking, if you have an investment property, you don't live in it, you're not getting a HELOC.
There you go.
But
it's risky to them.
I know a banker that knows a banker, and they said, okay, we'll structure it this way for you to give you a HELOC.
We do those too. We can do them on investment properties, but they will be more expensive.
Yeah.
You're definitely paying more for that.
Got you. Yeah, that makes sense, guys. I
love for
appreciate
you to
the
go
advice.
into this
I just
ready.
want to say, fresh and fit. I appreciate you guys. I've been watching you for years, and keep on dropping the knowledge and fuck what anybody got to say. Just keep doing y'all and staying true. I appreciate y'all.
No worries, man. You were gonna say something to him, Dave? Go ahead.
Yeah, and everybody listening, right? You don't need to have this FOMO that we had for so long about I got to do something. Everybody's making money. I'm not making any money. If you've got some money set aside that you've been saving, you're in a very good position. It is okay to wait right now and watch how things play out and jump into the game once you've seen how things go versus what it used to be where there's a high sense of urgency that if you didn't take action and do something, you were going to get passed up.
Yeah. Good point. All right, caller.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Thanks, guys.
No worries, man. Who's up next? Let's get the next person on the line. Let's help as many of you guys as we can.
And then chats, of course.
Next up, we have 7752. You are up. 7752.
Yo, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we got you,
we
man.
can.
What's up?
What's up, guys? This is a perfect time because I have a great idea for the guy that just called before me. So what I do is I build a house. I live in it for 2 years using the Section 121 for the IRS code, and I sell that. And since I'm single, I can make up to $250,000 tax-free, and I just roll that right into my new build.
Okay.
Cool. Do you have a question?
So, well, I don't have a question. I was just kind of like bringing awareness to it. Like, I'd never hear anybody really talk about it.
All right.
Like, so a year ago.
All right, bro. We're going to move on to the next call then. If you don't have a question, that's fine. I think we're going to help the guy.
I'm sorry. I was just.
But thank you for your statement, though.
All right.
Who's up next?
We have
Yeah, I got a lot of people on the line, guys, so we got to, obviously,
we have 5579. You are up. 5579. You're up.
Guys, he wanted to talk about
can you guys
himself.
hear me?
What do you, like, this isn't like us. He wanted to literally talk about himself. We're not going to, he didn't have a question. So, all right, what's up, bro?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
we can.
All right, my question is about ownership structuring. I heard the best way to go about owning multiple properties is having a holding company, typically a Delaware LLC, and then have a separate LLC for each property. Do you guys agree with that, or do you think something else is better?
Yeah, that's a great strategy. I mean, it's one of the few times where you want to actually have a business as an LLC versus S corp is when you have real estate property. So no, that's a good idea, man. I mean, a lot of people do it in different ways, but that general structure, I would say, works. I mean, what do you think, Dave?
Yeah, that's gonna be the safest way to do it. It's a little bit more expensive, but that's probably your safest structure. Your taxes will be a little bit more you got to pay to do those LLCs. Just don't get into the belief that you're completely safe because it's in an LLC, because if you get sued, a judge will look at it and can still determine, it's called piercing the veil of the corporation. They can still determine that that person who wins a lawsuit against you can get into your other LLCs. So my advice would be, in addition to that, also make sure you have a decent amount of insurance on your properties that cover you in the case of a lawsuit, because that is guaranteed to pay for you, as opposed to hoping that your assets are protected in LLCs.
Also, does has umbrella insurance that you can get as well, which I've heard about that. I'm going to be looking into that as well. Me and Roger are looking at that, so that's something else you can utilize.
Yeah, I was going to ask if an umbrella policy for the holding LLC was better in case of that.
Yeah,
Do you think that's better than
I don't think it hurts to have
extended insurance for each property?
Yeah, I don't think that hurts. I don't think that it hurts to have a second line, right? You gotta, especially you have like if you have a decent sized portfolio, something to definitely look at. Something I'm definitely going to start exploring very soon myself. So.
All right. Can I ask one more follow-up question?
Yeah, sure.
So I also heard that if you want to start managing everything yourself, you should set up your a separate C corp or an S corp and do it that way. Do you think that's best, or just keep yourself as the only employee of your holding company?
When you say set it up yourself, can you describe what you mean by that?
Like setting up a C corp so you can manage all the properties yourself, or stay on as the only employee for the holding LLC.
Why would you need a C corp to be able to manage all the properties yourself? That's where I'm confused.
I heard this from a tax guy. He doesn't own any properties, though. He just told me that this might be a good idea.
It sounds like that advice is geared towards being able to pay yourself a salary out of the C corp. Is that what you guys were talking about?
Yeah, kind of passing it along through each property into the management company C corp.
Yeah, you can do that without having a C corp. The biggest reason that you want a C corp is because it will be taxed at a lower rate for whatever is left. But the downside is if you want to get the money out of the C corp, it not only got taxed as the corporation, it gets taxed again when you take it out by your tax rate. That's what you want to avoid when you have a C corporation. I've done this before, but I never take the money out of the C corp. I leave it in there. So if you're planning on, like, you don't need that cash, you could just let it build and then use it to buy more properties and keep growing the portfolio that way. That's usually your best bet. But if you think you're going to need that money for some reason, you don't want to be in a C corporation. I'm not giving tax advice,
Thanks,
by the
man.
way. None of us here are CPAs.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No worries. Who's up next?
Next, we have 3693. You're up. 3693. You're up.
Are these pay callers?
Hello, madam. My name is Baljit from India. I am calling today because my girlfriend's sister has very big teeth.
Yeah, we have some pay callers in locals. CastleClub.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
2616. You're up. 2616. You're up.
Come again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So the situation is this: I have access to approximately $250,000 on lines of credit, and I would like to make them, to use them and make some money. So now I'm looking at potentially buying mobile home or small housing that doesn't cost much. Buy them and then try to basically sell the project to a bank to get like a mortgage. So then with the down payment 80%, if I buy them low, then I can get my money back and then do the operation again. Do you guys have any, either in the network or do you guys know how this can be done? I know in Canada it's a little bit harder. The banks don't like to give loans for mobile homes, but maybe in the US, they're a little bit more flexible.
What do you think, Dave?
Are you talking about the BRRRR strategy?
No, not at all. So my idea is basically, let's say the mobile home costs like 150 or 100K. I'm gonna try to buy it for like 70K, and then get a mortgage for 80K. So that I need 10,000 because they will give 80% loan to value, and then the 70K I use it to pay back my line of credit. I make profit and I reuse the 70K to try to purchase another one and just make the money rolling.
So you're keeping the property and refinancing it, or you're selling it?
I am buying, and then I will keep the property, put some tenants in it. They will pay back the mortgage. I will make my money from the sale. That's the idea. And reuse the same amount of money, or, have like some money to purchase them cash. That's the idea.
Are you following this question?
It's a bit confusing, man. very disconjointed.
Okay, so let's say I have 100. There is a property that costs 100,000. I have $70,000 cash, so I would suggest them. Oh, let's say I can get it for 70,000. So I purchase.
All right, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. Your volume is really low. We can barely hear you.
Sorry.
And
Let me.
You need to be a lot more concise in what you're saying here. What is your question specifically, and make it concise. You have a very bad habit of joining on. You need to fix that. What is your question precisely? Because everyone at the table is looking at each other like, what the fuck is this guy saying?
Sorry for that. In the U.S., is there a network or some? Have you guys heard about something? People investing in mobile homes where they need investors. I can put some cash, and then we can try to look at the plan.
Yeah, there's plenty of syndications that collect money from a bunch of people. Right, Grant Cardone runs one. I think Justin Waller might have one. I don't know if you have one, but I know your guy
Brandon does.
Brandon has one.
Yep.
Like, they're all over the place. So I mean, I would say don't limit yourself to just mobile homes. But yeah, bro, there's syndications everywhere where you can put money in and get some kind of return. But keep in mind that you don't have control of the asset 100%. You're getting a portion, and you're not making like the full decisions of the property. You're basically entrusting the person that you're giving the money to do that. Are you sure you want to do that? That comes down to you.
Okay, it's all gonna depend on the numbers.
Another way around it is you can also invest in REITs instead. Because it seems to me like you want to be involved in real estate without having to deal with all the other bullshit. A REIT might be another option that you have instead of using a syndication.
I'm already in REITs, so that's why I try to diversify into different things.
Why not buy your own house, bro?
I do have my own property, and I do have, yeah. So I'm trying to diversify essentially, but okay.
So then, if you already have your own properties and you got REITs, syndication is something that you could definitely explore as well. Just keep in mind that you're not going to have as much, leverage or power when you get into syndications. You're kind of at the mercy of the investor and what they decide to put the money into.
We could do foreign national loans at the one brokerage. You could buy a property yourself and not have to put your money into other people's stuff. It's kind of I don't know if it's well known by people that are not in my circles, but there's a very large amount of syndicators that are all losing everybody's money.
I believe it
right now.
I believe it. Yeah. I would not join a syndicate right now if I was an investor. Any deal that I do at this point, like, I would do it myself 100%. I would not fucking,
There's a couple.
There's a lot of people losing money, and that could continue happening. And this isn't the environment that if you don't know anybody in the U.S. and you're trying to find someone that you just heard about other people talking about, you don't want to be investing in syndications right now.
Guys, if you notice, the tone here is to be smart with your money and not just throw it out there because hard times are coming. So that's the tone here.
Yeah, it's. I understand. Thank you guys.
No worries, man.
All right, bro.
Take it easy, bro. Bye.
Yeah.
Let's. Who's up next?
Do we do the pay callers on locals?
That was the paid caller.
Cool.
Shout out to all our guys in CastleClub. Shout out to all you ninjas.
All right. We have 4813. You're up. 4813.
Hello, you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. I just had a question. All right. So